Today we're talking to Kristy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ginger shot.
Yeah.
And treat. To know what it's like. But so not all in one.
Whatever you want. Just give it a taste, give it a little nibble. And do you like it? Is it pleasant? I think it's aggressive. It's very aggressive.
For such a small drink,
Yeah, it's just a bit aggressive. Okay. But you don't have to do it all the time. Just little sips.
So we're going to start with a quick fire. Okay. Just to get into it. Okay. Pen or pencil?
Oh, pencil. Yeah, pencil.
Spring or autumn?
Autumn.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Lark or night owl?
Night owl.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Forest or desert?
Forest.
Abstract or figurative?
Abstract.
Minimalist or maximalist?
Minimalist.
And if you are reading anything, what are you reading currently?
I'm currently reading C.J. Young, but previously I just finished a book called A Supposedly Fun Thing That I'll Never Do Again.
So we're in your studio today.
Yes.
When you get here, are you listening to anything? And if you are, what?
I am always listening to something, unfortunately. Normally I would either listen to Palace, which is a band, or Contortionist. I think I always come in listening to either or Green Tea Peng. Yeah. And
when you're in here listening to things, what's your routine? How do you get started?
I'm really trying to not have a routine. I think I try to not fall into a habit of coming at a certain time, coming at a set day or amount of days I come in, because I feel like that would help me paint differently. I don't want to have a formula, so to speak. I don't want to know that this is going to work, so I'm going to stick to it. So I try to be as spontaneous as possible. So no routines.
Do you let people into your studio? I'm here today. Yeah. Do you ever let anyone in, or is
I
it
actually
very much
love having people over. That also just means I can procrastinate a little bit more. But I don't really mind people seeing my works in between stages. I think, that's a part of the journey of the work, and if they're here, they probably want to experience it as well. Yeah.
And how do you get them to experience it when they're here?
I guess I just okay, look at it, and then if they have any questions, then, shoot. And I try not to give too much away, but then the more we talk about it, it just kind of reveals itself. And in a way, it's I want, or the title of the work, or the painting itself, it's more of an enabler instead of this is what it is. Yeah.
We're down in East London today, not too far from Tower Hill. But you're not originally from London. No. Why here? Why this city? And will you stay?
I think I'm staying forever. Well, perhaps not forever, but I think it's the similarities of living in Hong Kong, both being a city, but London has a sense of community that I haven't really experienced anywhere else, perhaps apart from New York. It's just a lot more encouraging and supportive, and I feel like I haven't really felt that anywhere else.
Just looking at your kind of work creation, and I think what's really interesting is to know how you get started. I'm really curious to hear what that process is like after you've stared at it.
Yeah. I think with a blank canvas, because I don't prime it with white primer, I normally just throw pigment at it, and then while I prime it with gesso, it start making marks. So those are very natural marks that comes with the painting and just comes with the priming. And I'm also very not meticulous with doing it one sweep and making it very, very uniform. So that kind of gives me a base to work on, and then I just kind of start drawing lines and see what happens. And I feel like probably loads of painters would tell you like it is a conversation, and it is exactly like that. You just kind of do stuff to it and then response, because you're never going to be able to make what you want in your head. So it's much better to kind of let go and let it take you. Yeah.
Who was that conversation with? Is that with yourself and the paint, or do you ever have a kind of a pre-conversation with who your audience might be?
Not necessarily, not when I paint. I think when I title the works, I have an idea in mind. But yeah, no, I think it's very much a very solitude thing, where it is just a conversation between you and the work, and also sort of what has happened to you before you come into the studio. It's as much of the before, during, and after. It's everything. It's basically about the human experience of our environment, or at least my experience of my environment. Yeah.
Seeing that you're inspired by your environment, do you ever find that you get a type of writer's block or painter's block if you're constantly inspired by what's around you?
I get blocks all the time. I think most people do. I think a part of not having a routine is also being very lenient to yourself and not be upset when you're feeling the block. And what I try to do is just go for a walk, go for a hike. That's kind of like a new thing that I was telling you about, my 2025 rebranding. I'm kind of like trying to be outdoors a lot more and just experience other things. And the more you see, I think the more it informs what you want to do. And, magically or miraculously, it will start working. I think that the idea is that you're trying to make something that that's not supposed to work. I think particularly in abstract paintings. Yeah.
And do you feel like getting outside, being in nature, do you find that nature inspires your work at all?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I've always been really interested in trees and rivers. And currently I'm sort of researching into the history of London as well. So I do feel like even though my paintings is about the human experience, it is still very much driven by nature. And it's also really curious that, time and time again, like throughout thousands of years, painters have been painting about nature or like sculpting nature, but it's still so interesting, or like it's still inspiring so many people in different ways. And in a way it's kind of daunting because everyone's responding to the same thing, but at the same time it is also sort of like a community where everyone's excited by the same thing. Yeah.
Talking about community in London, there's obviously a big art world community in London as well. How have you found that? How have you found navigating it?
I think I've been really fortunate in a sense that it's all been incredibly inclusive. And I think honestly, you're always going to meet someone that you don't like. So just stick with people that you like. I think that's the way to navigate it. Just, you can't please everyone. So when you meet someone that, you care for and it makes sense to hang out and it works, then, go for it. And sometimes it might fall apart. Sometimes it might not last as long as you like it to be, but, that's just how friendships are. Yeah.
And when you've got an exhibition and your work is out there, how do you find that? How do you get ready for an exhibition? How do you then, when you're in the space and you've got viewers around you looking at your work, how does that make you feel?
I think it has always made me really nervous, particularly the day of. I don't know, what do you feel when you're nervous? Like, what bodily function do you feel?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I feel like my tummy does some backflips.
Oh, okay. I get an itchy tongue. My tongue gets so itchy because I'm really nervous. And I think what I do is just be like, you know what, everything's painted, everything's out there. I can't do anything about it anymore. The work has already been done, so just enjoy it. And I always just end up, with 2 bottles of wine in my hand, be like, yeah, it's fine. But I think that's sort of how I, not necessarily prepare it, but just kind of succumb to the circumstance and be like, this is fine. Yeah.
When you're, thinking about your younger self and you've got exhibitions and you're putting your work out there, is there anything that you'd say to your younger self and say, that was brilliant advice that you were given and that was terrible advice that you were given?
I think the brilliant advice, it's just, just you do you. Do your thing. If you believe in it enough, it's like, believe in yourself. I think the main thing is believe in what you want to do. Bad advice, my Hong Kong teacher, my art teacher in Hong Kong, she told me that I don't have creativity and I should go into design. But that also turned out to be the best advice, because I then really disliked her and decided to move to the UK to study, and that's how I went into painting.
Rebelling what she said.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you say that was the light bulb moment for you, that you were like, this is what I want to do, or
no,
when did that
not.
come?
It was when you had to choose your subjects for applying university, and I was like, oh, should I do history, because I really liked it, or should I do painting? And I was like, painting is so much more fun. And then I went to open days, and I went to the Slade open day and a few other ones, and just felt like everyone's a misfit and we're all just happy. And it's like this community, this group of feeling different, but then you no longer feel different when you're in an art school. And I think that was like, okay, maybe that's what I want to do. Yeah.
And do you find that you can lean on the art community here? How do you find that community helps you?
I don't think it necessarily helps you. The conversation's fantastic. I think, a lot of people say that you learn the most when you're not in class, but when you're conversing about art and painting in general. So I think it is the conversations, but but just, feeling like you belong, a sense of belonging is what it gives you, and I think that's really important when, humans are social creatures, and that was important to me, to have like a thriving social life, and that does inform my work in a weird way.
How do you find social media has kind of impacted your practice or the art world in general? How have you experienced that?
I was quite fortunate to be in a time when I was still at uni and COVID happened, so my work was sort of discovered through Instagram. So that helped my career, so to speak. But I don't recommend people to be on social media for inspiration. It's so much more important to see works in real life. And I think social media is taking that aspect away to a lot of people. I personally have deleted the app. My account is still up, but I treat it like email. So I go on Instagram every morning just to check my DMs, and that's all I do.
I find a lot of exhibitions or a lot of information about what's happening on Instagram. Yeah. How do you still use it for those purposes, or where do you find your information about?
I'm sure lots of us are subscribed to Seb's List and Seesaw, the app, and Hector Campbell's Shock Them Now. That's kind of where I find shows I want to go see, or if I'm sort of in the area, then I would just open up Seesaw and see if there's any nice shows around. And I think that's more than enough, I think. and I'm not so far away from Tate Modern, so sometimes I just kind of go there and whiz through and then come home. Yeah.
If you had to give someone coming through today, through art school, what advice would you give them?
But I think one advice is keep at least one work that you make every year. Yeah, I think that. And be very selective with what you show and where you show. I think that was quite important.
And have you always kept a work? And why?
I haven't. That's why I was like, I really wish I did.
And why do you think it's important?
I think it's good for your practice and also for the longevity of your career. It's important to not give everything away. I think that was a little bit of a mistake on my end where I was like so excited that, oh, like the work is going and also I need the money to pay rent. So I honestly just wish I did keep at least one work every year. Yeah.
If you could have an exhibition with any artist, dead or alive, is there anyone that you would love to do an exhibition with?
I have always loved Green Jackson's work. I know that our works really don't align, but I think there's something about the simplicity about space and objects and the way that they curate the works. And I'm not even in the world of being gay in the 90s, but I think something that I do is just so significant and so genius. I just really love their work, and I like pools. So I don't know, it will be really interesting, like if we ever did have a chance, it will be really interesting what we're going to come up with.
And if there was an artist that you wanted to have dinner with and pick their brains, right, would it be that same artist or would it be someone else?
I think it might be someone else. It could be Charlene van Hel. She's a German artist, German painter, and I just love her work. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, if I could, it would be great that if she taught me, but unfortunately not. But yeah.
And kind of looking forward for yourself, are there any, hopes and ambitions that you've got for yourself?
I think just make good painting and see where it takes me. I mean, of course, I have certain ambitions, but I think the main thing should always go back to the practice itself and how fulfilled it makes me feel. Yeah.